Good evening and welcome to the second episode of Loose Links. Joining me today on the panel is Abby Victoria, Ben Jamie and Mandy Stannard. As we take our first trip to Horncastle, as we talk about 4 people being evicted from their homes for antisocial behaviour. Lots to talk about there. Also, we take you to a trip to Boston as a casino opens in a time of crisis. Find out what we think. And our last destination for the evening is Gainsborough as they bring in a new CCTV recognition with facial and number plate recognition. Find out our view on that. All that and a lot more on this week's Loose Links. Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
Hello.
Just briefly, welcome to our newest panel member of the evening, Ben Jamie. Good evening, Ben. Thank you for joining
Are you
us.
okay?
I found Ben on TikTok. He's a bit of a TikTok legend, aren't you, really?
I am a little bit, I am. It's all getting there, getting the followers.
Yeah, exactly. A bit of a TikTok legend. We're bringing back an original panellist. Mandy Stannard joins us again for an evening. And the queen of Twitter herself is here and back. Abby Victoria is back with us for one evening. So tonight we're going to start to talk about last week's polls. So we're going to briefly talk about what we spoke about and the results. So the results are: do you think prison is the right sentence for the young man who was caught with the drugs? 16.67% said yes. 83.3% said no. Cleethorpes plan to spend 57 million on their pleasure beach. Do you think this is too much money? 40% yes, 60% no. Also, do you believe in UFOs? Are you joining the Born as a Born believer? 40% said yes, 60% said no. I think I'm in that 60%, to be honest. I really am. But let's go on to tonight's topics. Thank you for joining us as we say hello and welcome to Horncastle. Good evening, Horncastle. As we talk about 4 people being evicted from their homes because of antisocial behaviour. They were taken out of the property because they found smashing glass and throwing things and causing antisocial behaviour. Do you think people have no respect anymore?
Yeah, I don't think people respect people as much as they used to. And I think they were right to be evicted, because if you can't look after someone else's property, then why should you be able to stay there?
Yeah, exactly. What do you think, Mand?
Yeah, I mean, you should have, as a homeowner or if you rent and you live next door to somebody that is causing a lot of trouble, and I mean, in some cases, you know, people are frightened by it, aren't they? You know, if they're not evicted, what can you do? They'll just carry on and probably make your life even worse. So yeah, I think you should be evicted if you're, you know, you've got to have it. You can't just sort of like, oh, you've done that once and you're kicked out.
Do we blame upbringing for that though? Do we think upbringing has something to do with respecting a home and respecting neighbours and stuff like that? Do you think it has?
Yeah, I think so. If you don't respect your own home, I mean, I was brought up to respect, you know, furniture, you know, everything in the house. You know, you didn't just, you know, you kept pride in it because it lasted a long time. I mean, today's a throwaway society, so you've got a lot of stuff that doesn't last long, but you should still look after that stuff. And within the home, if you're not taught to respect each other as well as the stuff within the home, why would you then move somewhere else and then respect that place? I mean, don't get me wrong, you've got students, haven't you, that come over and they've left home and it's their first time away and they have a bit of a blowout, but usually they still look after the place, don't they? So I think it starts from the home, and if it's not there in the first place, you know, there are a lot of people out there that do struggle, you know, with it.
But there is that stigma, isn't there? There's been a stigma for years, really, that if you're in rented or council, it's not really your house. So people, and I'm not saying that everybody that's in a rented property or in a council property, because I'm one of them, that says that actually it's not my house, I don't care. But there is quite a lot of people that feel like that, don't they, until they get their own house.
I think a small percentage, but then you're stereotyping, if you like, and there is, you know, there are a lot of people out there that, oh well, you know, they're council houses, what do you expect? It's like, oh, single mother, what do you expect? We're not all the same, you know. I mean, I'm fortunate, I have my own house. Well, you know, the mortgage company has it and I pay them, but you know, I'm secure. But I think even if I lived in a rented, I mean, my daughter does, and she looks after that place. You know, I've got family and friends that live in council properties. They renovate it, they look after it. You know, it doesn't matter where you live. I do think it's it's taught from very young age to respect, you know, putting your toys away, you know, not scribbling on walls. I mean, that's where it starts, doesn't it? I think, but you know.
What do you think, Ben?
I definitely think eviction is necessary. I mean, if you're going to be bad in the house and not listen to rules of tenancy, then 100% you should be. I don't see why. You know, I mean, there's some people obviously get away with it quite a lot, and obviously some people just do get kicked out straight away. So, in a way, yeah, they definitely should be evicted straight away.
Do you think?
It all depends on the severity.
Go on, Ben. Sorry.
It all depends on the severity of the tenancy agreement, sort of.
Yeah.
I know some of them are, you know, most sort of tenancy agreements are sort of like basic things like don't destroy the house, but when it comes to a bit of music on, you know, just a little bit over 11 o'clock at night and you get evicted over that, I think it's a bit silly then.
Oh yeah, that's wrong. And your neighbours, I've had that where I've actually knocked on somebody's door and just said, I don't want to spoil the party, but could you close your windows?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I used to live terraced housing, so you know, you're opposite people, and they were fine about it, and they were, oh sorry. I said, no, I don't want you to stop your party, but if you can close your window, because my kid's bedroom window was out on the front as well, and they just couldn't sleep. So, and it's
I think it depends the areas you're in as well, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's
some areas are nice
going over there.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
What about you, Al?
Yeah, like I said, I just think, yeah, get rid of them. But that's me.
Do you think old-fashioned discipline should come back?
Yeah, bring back the cane.
Really? You would even bring back the cane?
Well, yeah, because then kids won't belittle so-and-so as well, though. They'll soon learn. Because the thing is, I've worked in a school, and I know for a fact some of those kids, if you were like, right, you've got detention, they're like, so that's 15 minutes of the day. And then they'll go back and do the same. They'll get excluded for a day. They'll come back. They'll do the same. They don't care.
Well, old-fashioned discipline is also like, and we're going briefly off topic, but like we were talking about drugs in prison last week, and we were saying that actually, when you're sent to prison nowadays, a lot of people, even on programs, they show it on documentaries on prison life, on programs now, people want to go back to their prison. They will do anything to go back to prison because it's more of a comfortable life in prison than it is outside of prison. They don't have to worry about work, they can earn money, they can get an education, where they're sort of back on the streets when they're out in prison. Do you think the prison service is going in the wrong direction?
Yeah.
I don't think prison is tough enough anymore.
You don't?
No, it's like they've got tellies, haven't they, and all that sort of stuff. You know, you're in prison for a crime. You know, you're not in there to have a laugh and chill with your mates in prison and watch TV, are you? You're in there for a serious reason.
No.
I think there needs to be a lot more on rehabilitation, education. You know, give them the tools to make a better life or to make better decisions. You know, if you can get an education that you haven't had through school for whatever reason, you know, if you can get your A levels and encouraged to do that, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I've never been in prison. I don't know anyone that's been in prison. So I don't think I can really comment on that.
No.
I think it's good they can get an education in prison, but then I also think, how can a person that's been in for burglary do a qualification to be a locksmith?
Mm. And how
Well,
is it?
I mean, it has to be looked at.
Is it realistic when they come out, though? As well, is it getting all these qualifications? Is it realistic when they come out to applying for jobs, or are people just going to say, actually, this person's been in prison? There's no way I'm taking them on. So this is why I say, is the system failing in that sort of way? Because people are coming out and they want to restart and they can't wait to get out. But as soon as they get out, they miss the prison life. So it's 50-50.
Well, yeah, I think, yeah. It impacts, doesn't it? Because it's a vicious circle. You know, you've been in prison, you get an education, but you come out, you can't get a job. So you turn to crime again.
Do you think people think they're untouchable these days? Do you think people think, well, I can do what I like, I'm untouchable?
I think that started a long time ago, yeah. You know, when I can remember a friend of mine, their child attacked their partner with a knife.
Oh, yeah.
A fork, I think, in the hand. The police were involved. And what I heard was that they said to the child, teenager, well, your parents have to press charges for us to do anything. So they're unlikely to do that, so we're not going to do anything anyway. So basically, it was, we can't do anything anyway, crack on. I mean, don't get me wrong, that child has turned out great, and it was a blip. But, I mean, when I was a kid, in the village, we didn't want to do anything. I mean, don't get me wrong, we weren't perfect. We tried to get away with a few things, but it wasn't serious crime. You know, it's stupid things, moving, for sale signs.
You've been behind some bike sheds, aren't you, Mandy Stella?
Oh yeah. There was a village copper. There was a village copper, and he was always, not always out, but you saw him out regularly on the beat, talking to everybody. And he just, yes, okay, was trying to get information, but that's what the police need. Mm-hmm. They need that connection. It's not there anymore. It's just not there.
It's funny about being untouchable, isn't it? And I won't bring this up next week, but it'd be really good to get Ben's opinion on this, actually, because he's quite big on it. That when it comes to the social media world, you are almost untouchable. Now, I see this guy on TikTok. I'm not going to name him because I don't want to give him any more credit than he's already trying to get. But he basically calls himself the King. And he talks about video after video after video about having sex with underage children. And I've reported to TikTok, to the police, to everything. But he's coming across like he's untouchable. Because when it comes
I know you are.
Pardon?
I think we all know who you're on about.
I do, yeah. When it comes to the social...
I have no idea.
I'm not going to say any comments or any names. I'm not getting about
No, but when it comes to the social media world, police can't do anything. It's up to
the evidence. They will be looking for evidence.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of that. I can tell you that for certain. There's plenty of that.
It depends if it's all talk.
Yeah.
So they'll be working behind the scenes, hopefully.
Let's hope so. Anyway, remember, you're the 5th panel member. Remember, we're on all social media sites. So please get involved in our polls, have a chat. Let's hear about what you think about antisocial behaviour and people being evicted from their homes quite quick. Now we go to the city of Boston. Good evening, Boston. Good evening, Boston. Hello, good evening to the people of Boston. We talk about a casino that is that Boston Borough Council has been given to open a casino within Boston at the moment, hoping to get community back together. But in a time of crisis, furlough, and people losing their jobs, do you think this is the wrong time to think about a casino?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, why is that the
Agree.
main to get open and get brought back? Because people are low enough as it is, and then they're going to go there, lose all their money possibly, and be even worse. I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Gambling is an addiction. It shouldn't be encouraged.
But why are we even thinking about it when we're at a time of people not having a lot of money and not, and that to be fair to them, they have said that there'll be lots of, on the news article, there'll be lots of jobs offered. If it hasn't been given the pass yet, it's gone to Boston Borough Council and they've got to make their mind up about it. But I've lived in Boston. There isn't a lot in Boston for community. There really isn't. So I'm a bit on the fence. I'm a bit on the, well, let's bring community back together. But actually,
A casino, though.
yeah.
What about a hall, a bingo hall, a community hall, a community space?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's all about money, though, isn't it? It's all about raising money. And as I say, why a casino when so many people are struggling for money nowadays?
That may raise money for the council, but it will create poverty for so many.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got a community venue where people can rent space for small businesses, you know, where you don't want somewhere where you can't have somewhere every day. I don't know, you know, childcare places, you know, rent it for birthdays, parties, surely that will bring in, well, it won't bring as much revenue as gambling, will it? So
No.
at the end of the day, the casino will win. You know, I don't know what the percentage is of people winning from the casino, but the volume of money they will get in to the volume of how many will win, it is small, isn't it? So
Yeah.
Very low pot that way.
Say again, Ben, sorry.
You won't get much money from the casinos nowadays.
No.
Awful.
And the
Especially
thing
after
is,
while this is going on.
surely, what about small businesses? And what about people that are struggling now at the moment? Like, there's loads of stuff going on in Lincoln at the moment about come in and supporters have a takeout and supporters just come and sit in our place. But if I'm honest, I'm still very, very apprehensive about walking into an enclosed building still. I'm still very, like, I go to church and I haven't been back to church yet because I'm just too nervous about step. I was supposed to go last Sunday and backed out because I'm just too nervous about going over the step hole. Now they've done everything to place measures to make sure we're safe and stuff like that. But are you people now ready to go out and about and visit places? I've noticed you've been out and about recently, Ben. Ben?
Sorry, say again.
I've heard you've been out. I've seen that you've been out and about recently.
I have, yeah. To be honest, this pandemic sort of thing isn't stopping as such. I mean, I'm still walking through it. I'm not breaking the laws as such, but I'm not listening to them as such, if you know what I mean.
Are you going in places? Are you visiting places?
Everywhere.
Or are you just staying outdoors?
Yeah. No, everywhere I've been going.
You've been going.
I've been to Blackpool, I've been to sort of Liverpool, Manchester, and I'm still doing it. I haven't been in sort of places I was in casinos. I mean, that's one thing I will keep away from because it's not really an essential at the minute. I mean, obviously keeping outside and getting the fresh air is sort of something you need to do. But when it comes to sort of arcades and all that stuff, then definitely not. You don't know what you're going to get, do you? I mean,
Has anybody else been out and about a bit more chancing it?
No.
See, I've been into shops, went over to Lincoln shopping. See, the thing is, Lincolnshire is like one of the lowest counties for COVID. So I feel a bit safer in Lincolnshire than if I was somewhere else. And Gainsborough's very, very low. we've not had many at all.
Oh, you've told us where you are now, Abby. We'll have to note that down. Just give us a second. We all know where you are now.
I'll be locking all my doors and windows tonight now, mate.
I would with James. Nick, if he knows where you are, you've had it.
That's it. There'll be lots.
We come to our last destination of the evening, and how ironic. Good evening, Gainsborough. as we talk about, Gainsborough has a new CCTV system putting ahead. They're one step ahead of everybody else. This new CCTV recognition has facial recognition and also number plate recognition. Are we absolutely on board with this, or do we think our privacy is being taken away from us that little bit too much?
I think it's great. Obviously, with me being from Gainsborough, crime is going up. And I think people that disagree with it have obviously got something to hide. Because why would you not want to be more safe? Why would you want to be like, oh no, I don't want CCTV that actually sees your face? No, thank you. No. Unless you're the person that's doing it.
I think that was my thought really when I was writing notes down, because I was just writing notes down from the news article really, that what I thought is the only people that are going to go, I don't like this, are the people that are actually going to be caught and seen and they know they're doing something wrong. Because it's always that ironic thing, isn't it, that we like something until it affects us, and then we don't like it. And that's a lot of it. What do you guys think of the new CCTV? Let's not go for a biased person that lives in Gainsborough. Let's talk to other people as well on what they think.
It's good for Abby, isn't it?
Say again?
It's definitely very good for her because obviously she lives up them ways. I mean, but it is a good thing as well, though. I mean, if there's obviously any criminals around, shoplifters, you name it, burglars, murderers, they're going to know then exactly who these people are. When they're going to catch them, literally. I mean, down in Lancashire, investigation police come out and obviously CIDs to try and find a murderer or something. I mean, there was a murder down here not long ago.
What's that?
It took them about 2 weeks, 3 weeks to sort of find the person, but they found him in the end. But with this face recognition, it's obviously going to catch them pretty much straight away, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, but it might also give the criminals a thing to put a mask on now. That's the issue you have. Where they're going to wear masks now to stop people sort of knowing them. And especially while this pandemic's on, everyone's wearing a mask, aren't they, walking around. So it's a good thing, definitely. But in regards to criminals, I think they're going to be that one step higher than what we are.
I agree. I think if you've got nothing to hide, then why should we worry about it? But on the other side, the amount of times people have said, oh, hi, and touched me, and I'm like, no, I do not know who you are. And they say, well, have you got a twin? And I'm thinking, don't think so. And I really have never met them in my life. So for me, the fear would be somebody that looked very, very similar to me did something wrong. And that's honestly, I scare the living daylights of me. If I got pulled into, I've been pulled over before because of my car 5 times. On the 5th time, I did say, look, this is police harassment now. Because, this is the person before. It was, and they were supposed to take me off the system and whatever. But I didn't mind being stopped because obviously they had something on that car. The point is it was the person before who had it, had a second-hand car. And I don't mind that. And it was a bit funny, because the last time he pulled me over and I just said, you want my phone number really, don't you? I made a joke of it. And he looked at me and I said, well, this is the 5th time I've been pulled over, da-da-da-da. And they took me off the system in the end. But, if I was actually hauled in to a police station because they suspected I'd done some criminal act, I don't know what, I think I would just completely, I'm a bit crazy anyway. I think I'd lose the plot.
No, Mandy, not at all.
Love you.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Go on, Ben, sorry.
I'm not going to comment on any of that.
Because it's meant to be a live streaming, so they're going to watch it live, so they're able to sort of send someone out straight away from reading into it. Because I think it's going to be in Netlem. It's going to be at the Netlem police station at the headquarters. So
are Oh, because it's been announced also that obviously crime has gone down since lockdown because none of us can leave our house. It's to the point that I am that worried about crime going back up that I am having a house alarm that's fitted to my house in September, because the thing is, they are saying that crime is going to rise again because obviously we've all been at home and now they're knowing that people are going back to work and stuff like that. Are we nervous about crime as we come out of lockdown, about being just as anxious about coming into lockdown, about being at home?
I think maybe more people will turn to it if they are desperate, you know, because there's a lot more people out of work. Are they going to get the benefits? You know, there's all that to take into account. But no, well, oh Christ, if you're worried about that, you wouldn't step out your door, would you? Really, I suppose. I mean, I double check my doors every night, my windows.
Oh,
everything.
see, I do. I'm like that. But the thing is, as well, when it like, I hope it doesn't. Anybody that's watching, I really hope it doesn't happen to you. But like muggings, you know, like when you're mugged in the street and you call the police and the police come and investigate you and go, so tell me what this person looked like. Well, all we're going to get nowadays is, well, I saw their eyes and they were in a black mask. That's all I can. All I can see, and that gives criminals such an advantage at the moment, because the thing is, we are all covering up. We are all covering our faces, so nobody's going to look at anybody dodgy covered up as we were before.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Well, yeah. I mean, if someone walked around the street in a balaclava and a truncheon, you know, they're in trying to do something. Where nowadays they just have to have a mask and a I don't know, and a handbag. You and you wouldn't know.
No, go on, Mandy thinks of a truncheon. But how do you think, if you were in charge, how would you stamp down on crime?
I don't know.
How would you stamp down on crime? What would you do to prevent crime? If you were the Prime Minister and said, right, Prime Minister, tell me what we're going to do about crime in the next 3 months.
Well, give everybody a job that pays a decent wage, that they can earn a decent living. They can, you know, live. That wouldn't work anyway, because everybody always wants more.
Yeah.
You know, they want more. They want the luxury. I mean, is it petty crime where somebody just wants something for some drugs, or are you talking, you know, big crime where people are, you know, they've been doing it for years and they live off the proceeds? I don't know.
Well, I had in 2012. I don't want to name it, but I had a father-in-law that talked about. We had a deep conversation really about crime, and he said that actually shops shouldn't have a price for stuff. So you should be able to walk in, and if you want a new TV, you can pick up a new TV and go home. But you can't be greedy about it. So you can't go in and go, I'll have 4 stereos, I'll have 5 platform TVs, I'll have 2 speaker bars. It's not about that. It's about going in, getting what you need and coming home again. And he said, then nobody would be greedy. I sort of disagreed with that, because I think I didn't agree.
I mean, if you've got a choice to go and get, I don't know, a 10-inch, whatever, 20-inch screen TV, or a huge, you know, 40-inch with all the bells and whistles, you know, you're looking at the big, you know, the big TV, the big screen, all the bells and whistles. I know I can't afford that, so I have to go for the best I can afford. But there's some people that don't want the best they can afford. They want what they want, and they think it's their right to have it. That's the problem, and that goes back to respect and how you're brought up. I think if you're brought up thinking that what you've got isn't good enough, you're never going to be happy with what you've got. So you'll always want more.
Do you agree,
I think
then?
children should be taught budgets and about money as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
on, Abby. Yeah, tell us a bit more about that. Tell us a bit more about that.
Because like if you give a kid money and then just like that's fine. Whereas if you teach a child how much something is going to cost and sort of a budget and from being young, then that's going to help them when they're older know that they can't afford that, but if they save this, they can afford it in so much time rather than just, well, when I was younger, I used to get it. I don't think kids are told no enough.
No,
There seems to be one way than
children and adults don't like being told no, to be honest.
I mean, I don't like, I'm 26 and I still don't like being told no.
What do you think, Ben?
I agree with everyone else, I really do.
Say again, sorry.
I agree with both of them.
What, really?
Yeah, honestly. So there's no discipline anymore.
No. Why
Nothing at
don't
all.
you think there's no discipline anymore? Explain a bit more about that. Why
I
don't
don't know, I just feel like kids sort of think they can get away with everything now. I think it's the new day and age we're in. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to get a smack. You know, if I said a swear word, I used to get a soap in my mouth.
Right.
But nowadays, there's literally no discipline now. I think that's why the crime rate's gone higher as well.
It's media as well. You see people, their media page, you know, their Facebook page or whatever, they're on this fantastic holiday, they're having such a fantastic life, but it's a snapshot. It's a minute snapshot.
And
other
there's jealousy
children
involved in
see
all
that.
that sort of stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, look at all the toys they've got. Look at all this. Look at all that, and it's a false reality. Isn't it?
I used to have an Action Man when I was a kid, but nowadays it's all PS1s, 2s, 3s. You know what I mean? And that's what people are getting nowadays. Honestly, an Action Man and Barbie doll I used to play with, a little police garage sort of station thing, and I loved it. You know what I mean? But nowadays, though, it's an Xbox, and if your game's not working, you're smashing your Xbox up, and that's how it works for people nowadays.
You know,
and then they get another one.
I went on a date once. I'm not going to name the date.
Did you?
Because I don't know if he watches, to be honest. So that's not name the date. But I found out when I got on this date that this person was an alcoholic. And also that
I didn't realise we
I
went
was on the phone to him one night and he couldn't open the Xbox and he lived in a flat and he literally threw the Xbox out the window. Literally just went, oh, I've had enough of that. I can't even say it live what he said, but I've had enough of that, and just threw it out the window. And then I went, why have you done that? And he went, don't know really, I'll go and pick it up.
Don't be wrong with that.
Well, we'll see. That brings us to the end of Loose Links show number 2. Thank you for your company this evening. Please thank my fantastic panel, the legend himself on TikTok himself, Ben Jamie. The girl with the golden smile but loves the Westlife song, Mandy Stannard. And also the queen of Twitter herself, Abby Victoria. Join us next week where my panel will be Jay O'Connor, Adam Harrison and Gemma Love for a lot more topics and debates. Thank you for joining us this evening. We look forward to next Tuesday. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.